Thanks to Johnny Hastings. Thanks to Haggerty's Music Works. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Haggerty's Music Works YouTube channel, Haggerty's Music Works. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Matthew Trask, where you can watch Old Faithful once a week, usually on Mondays. Get excited about that. Please remember to support my friends at Black Hills Blend Espresso for convenient locations here in Rapid City. I am so excited about today's episode, and I'm so glad we had like 15 minutes to talk beforehand, get a whole bunch of stuff out of the way, because there's way too much to talk about. James Sautter, it is so nice to have you on the show.
Thanks. I'm glad you invited me.
Well, yes, I'm getting more excited about this all the time. The show, as we all know, if you watch the show, is called Old Faithful. This right here is one Old Faithful guitar. But let's start at the beginning. Tell us about you with emphasis on your musical journey.
Okay. I started a little bit later than some people, about 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
I read music as a kid, as a trumpet player and stuff, but I decided I wanted to play guitar, and I bought a Ibanez guitar and a little practice amp.
Okay.
And my dad owned the motel in Wasta, and I used to rent rooms for him in the summer. So I know you're familiar with Wasta.
We love Wasta. Wasta crew represent.
Nice little town by the river. And so I used to keep the guitar down there, and a friend of mine taught me some chords, and I just kind of tried to learn a little bit of basic stuff.
Okay.
And I wasn't really looking to get into a band right away, but the friend of mine who was teaching me chords, he had kind of a family band. Kind of all of his uncles and cousins and stuff.
Sure.
The guy's name was Scott Patterson, and he was teaching me how to play, and I guess they kind of broke up, and he said he'd loan me his uncle's bass if I'd learned to play bass in this new rock band.
Ah, gotcha.
So I got his uncle's bass, which was absolutely awful. It was like a piece of plywood with strings about this far off the neck. So I did my best to learn how to get the frets to sound good and everything like that, and actually built up a lot of strength.
Oh, I bet
doing
you did.
That.
Sure.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, we started getting ready to get some gigs. We did all the simple, fun stuff, all the party music.
Right.
Louie Louie, the twist and shout, all the 3-chord stuff that you could play. And we just had a blast with that. And so I decided we're going to play gigs. I'm going to spend some money right away. So I went to Haggerty's and I bought this. It's a P-bass copy, not real expensive, about a $400 bass. And this turned out to be one of the best investments I've ever had. This bass has been fantastic for me for 38 years.
We started with the bass in your hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
This is the bass I bought for my very first gig.
What year would this
This
have
would have
been?
been like 1984.
1984.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember, would it have been the downtown or the Bacon Park Haggerty's?
I do. It was a brief time when Haggerty's had a place in the mall. And that wasn't very long.
Haggerty's briefly had a place in the mall.
But yeah,
things I didn't even know.
Yeah, they were there for just a short time. I bought this bass at that store, and I don't think it was there very long, because most of the time I'd go to their 5th Street location and see them there. But I bought this there. I bought my amp. It's the first amp I ever bought, and I've had it for the same amount of time. But this beast, I couldn't haul up the stairs here. But it's been to every gig.
And I couldn't help him.
I've ever had. It's got the wear to show it too.
We may probably get a picture of this too.
But I bought that in 1984 too.
So, the head or the cab or both?
Both.
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 Okay.
Yeah, it's an 18 and 2 10s, and it's they're Black Widow. It's Black Widow cabinet.
Okay.
It's a PV Mark IV 400 series.
Wow. Awesome.
2-channel amp.
And you just rolled up into Haggerty's at the mall.
Yeah, I thought I could play any gig with that, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah. So, did you play any gigs on Uncle's piece of crap?
No.
You did not?
No, I didn't. We rehearsed with that.
Okay.
But before our first gig, I made the investment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure.
Did you? So this new rig that you got was the first time you played it at a gig. You're like, plug it in. Gee, I hope this works. I paid a lot of money for it.
Oh no, I think I plugged it in at home a couple times just
and
to
maybe
make sure
rehearsed.
I could, yeah, so I could figure out where I wanted to do the EQ and everything like that.
All right.
Yeah, and our first gig was at the Wall Community Center, which was a new place. It's pretty old now.
It is fairly old now.
Had a big stage, and a lot of our friends were there.
And it was brand new at that time.
Yeah.
You take your rig from Haggerty's at the mall to the brand new Wall Community. This story is getting better and better for a country boy from Elm Springs all the time. So, do you remember that first rehearsal or whatever, plugging this into
that bass
and
amp,
flipping it on and going, oh God, this is so much better.
Well, the first thing I realized is I need to get it up on casters, because that 18 on the floor was just
right.
You know, so I that was one of the first thing I invested in for the amp. Put some casters on and get it a little bit up off the ground, but it had such a big booming sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ever since then, people have been telling me I'm too loud when I play bass. But
I see.
I try not to listen to that negativity.
Right. Yeah. We don't need that sort of negativity in our life.
No, it's.
But let's go back very briefly. Your first guitar, you said, was an Ibanez. Was it an electric?
It was an electric. It was an Ibanez Roadstar.
I was hoping you were going to say it was an Ibanez Roadstar.
Okay, yeah.
Because we are now talking about a kid from Wasta who had an Ibanez Roadstar. I am so happy right now. It's like Christmas and my birthday all at the same time. What happened to it?
That was a nice guitar. I, embarrassingly enough, sold it and bought a leather jacket.
Well, hey, that's not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
all of my friends were looking cool in these leather jackets, and I just bought a really nice Wilson leather jacket. I wasn't playing the guitar. It was stupid, though. I wish I had that guitar. I don't have the jacket anymore. What? Yeah.
Well, that's the dumbest story ever.
It is pretty dumb.
What was your first amp, and did you trade it for a pack of cigarettes? Or?
Oh, no. No, but I think I did sell it. I needed the money. Yeah, it was, oh gosh, what was that amp? It was, I want to say it might have been an old Sun amp. I'm not
really?
Sure. It was a small one, though.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But I don't remember that for sure. I'll have to look, see if I have old pictures.
This would have been kind of an incredible rig, really.
Yeah, it was.
An Ibanez Roadstar into a Sun amp.
Yeah.
That we turned into a leather jacket.
Well, the guitar I did.
Right.
I think I just got some money out of the amp.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, sure. So we're all caught up. We need to talk more about this bass guitar right here.
This bass has been through just about everything you could imagine. I mentioned to you earlier that I almost wrote to Yamaha.
Sure.
It's just a P-bass copy.
Sure.
And it had just your stock cardboard kind of case. And we were playing in 1998. We were playing 13 gigs in 9 days, and that was some of it was like 8 hours a day on stage.
Sure. Okay.
We were doing 4-hour gigs in the afternoon, 4 hours at night. And after the 12th night, we were in this parking lot in front of this house, and I was so tired. I set my bass down in the case right next to my truck, my Ford Ranger, and I was just zoned out. I got in the truck, and the case fell over, and I backed my truck on top of this bass. I just heard a crunch, and I was like, oh my God. And that kind of woke me up, and everybody outside the truck was like, oh no, he destroyed it. And so I looked, my front tire was about where this would be, right?
Right.
Where the neck would meet the body. And I just asked, what do I do? And everybody said, pull forward the same way you pulled onto it. I did. I pulled it out. The case was destroyed.
Right.
This thing not only didn't have a scratch on it, but it was in tune.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So it was lucky.
Yeah.
It was just incredibly lucky that I must have got on it just the right way.
Sure.
But yeah, this thing was accidentally left out in the snow one time at a gig in Montana.
Holy cow. In a case or out?
It was in the case.
It was in the case.
It's in the case. It still stays in tune. it was in a bar fight. This was also in Montana, Baker, Montana. We were at this.
Montana's hard on
This was one of my
equipment.
first. This was that first band, that guy that had the family band and
The Patterson.
band.
Okay.
Yeah, Patterson kid. And we're playing this gig in this biker bar in Baker, Montana, and this biker group got into a fight with these other civilians that were in the bar.
Oh.
And it was just a knockdown, drag-out fight. And pretty soon the police came, and they were starting to fight too.
Right.
And the waitresses, we were scared to death. We're up on stage,
Right.
We don't want them to come up here. I'm getting ready to swing my bass at somebody if they come up here.
Right.
And the waitress just comes up and she whispers, "Play something soothing, please.
Yeah.
Play something soothing."
Right.
So we did like a 20-minute version of House of the Rising Sun, and they calmed down. Yeah, we got through that. The few people got up on stage with us, but fortunately none of our instruments were damaged.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, this is a Yamaha bass. Do we know where this was made?
Actually, I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's made in America.
Okay. It would be.
Actually, I don't know. Yamaha isn't necessarily an American company.
It might be Japanese made.
It
Do you
could be.
remember when you walked in Haggerty's at the mall?
Mhm.
There were probably more basses than one.
Oh, sure.
Do you remember why you chose this one?
It had. It was cheaper than P bass.
Okay.
It had the same P bass feel.
Sure.
I liked the feel of the neck. I actually looked at two basses at that time. They had a used Rickenbacker. Rickenbackers are fantastic basses.
Nothing
And
wrong.
they have a great sound, but a narrower neck.
Right.
With kind of that V at the back, which is kind of interesting, but I like this better. I could anchor better on this,
Right.
and I thought this would be the better bass for me to start with.
Well,
And I thought I'll get the Rickenbacker later,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I never did. But,
Have you
yeah.
done anything besides change the strings and run over this bass?
Well, this bolt right here.
Oh, look at there. We'll have to get a shot of that.
I've had some strap locks break off and stuff. This one needs to be repaired again.
Okay.
But yeah, it got to the point where I just had to get a bigger screw.
Okay. Just stuck a leg
Put
screw
that
in
sucker
there.
in there with a
someday.
washer. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the only customization
Okay.
that I've done.
The original switch, the original pickups,
Original switch,
original
pickups,
bridge.
everything. Yes.
Wow.
And embarrassingly enough, probably the original frets. I don't think I've ever had it refretted.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
too embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you probably change strings occasionally.
It's not the original strings, but yeah.
Oh, sure.
it's-
Right, yeah.
Although bass players are known for like leaving their strings on too long.
Well, hey, what you gonna do? So you definitely wanted to talk about your band that you're
Oh,
in,
sure, yeah.
and we can absolutely do that. You also wanted to mention one other bass that you don't have.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
should talk about that.
I've always been a fan of Paul McCartney and the Hofner bass.
Who is not a fan of Paul McCartney?
Yeah, such a great songwriter and bass player. And this is a band I was in L.A. This guy right here actually has made kind of a name for himself. He's the front man of the Mighty Mojo Prophets.
Okay.
And they're pretty big out in L.A. Now, but he used to be my songwriting partner back then.
All right.
That bass over there was given to me by a friend out in L.A., and it's, as near as I can tell, completely homemade.
Okay.
It played better than any Hofner I've ever played. It had
Right.
a cello headstock
Wow.
and just sounded so nice.
Right.
So big and fat. And I love that bass. The only other time I've seen that bass, I saw a bass that looked exactly like it. I mean, it looked like the same guy might have made that bass.
Right.
And it was on Saturday Night Live. The Stone Temple Pilots bass player was playing it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the only other time I've seen that bass.
I see.
And I'm sad that I lost it.
Yeah, and you lost it.
I lost it, yes. And the way I lost that one, when I left LA, the band kind of broke up. There was some, I kind of got into some financial trouble, and I wanted to go home and regroup, come back to South Dakota. But my intent was to come back. And I wanted to keep that band together. The drummer we had, this guy Chuck, and Tom was still our guitar player. So with Tom, I left my prized Yamaha 12-string guitar.
Okay.
And with Chuck, I left that bass.
Ah.
With the promise that I'm going to come back or you can have it.
Right, yeah.
And as I came home and, I worked for a little while to regroup, and I got into a bad car accident on Highway 16, and that caused me to have to rehab for a couple of years.
Right.
And I just never made it back.
Sure, yeah.
So Chuck's got my bass.
Are we still in touch with Chuck?
I'm not in touch with him anymore. It's been so many years.
Yeah, sure.
I'd love to try and look him up someday just to see if he still has it.
Well, we should probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into that.
So let's talk about Black Hills Soul.
Sure. I'm excited about Black Hills Soul.
Well, I am too.
Yeah.
This is terribly cliche. I'm going to put on my musical appreciation hat for a second.
Okay.
But, so Black Hills Soul is for white guys doing soul, and this is going to sound so cliche, but you have to see them. 4 white guys from the Midwest should not groove this hard.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But it's your band, so why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, this band wasn't necessarily supposed to be a band to start with.
Okay.
I was playing with Walt Keys in a blues band, and so is the keyboard player, Todd Tatro.
Okay.
And we have always been, we write songs. We've always been kind of wanting to do something as a side project, writing songs. And so we decided to do that. We'd meet in his garage and just brainstorm and stuff. And Todd told me he wanted to make a documentary film, not something he'd release, but just something that had all of his old songs on it that he could give to his kids and his grandkids. So I thought that'd be great. Play some of your songs for me. And he played these songs he'd written 30 years ago that were just better than the stuff I wrote, I'd listened to back then.
Right.
So I said, we got to make a real film. I wanted to put this in like Sundance Film Festival or something like that. This Todd being one of these guys that, let me give you a little backstory. When I moved to LA, one of the things that I noticed out there that was really cool was there are so many people trying to make it out there. So many talented people that don't know how to market themselves.
Right, yeah.
We played in this studio. It was a building that had 435 band studios in Vernon, California, in the industrial area. And I had to live up there for a while. Because I couldn't afford a place to live. And there were a lot of people living up there. I met some of the most incredible musicians. That you'll never hear from of today.
Right.
But, people that were better than the people I was listening to on the radio and stuff. And it just, there were so many people out there back in that time when we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have the cheap ways to make records or to get ourselves out there. You either had to know somebody with money or get seen by the right person with money to back you if you were going to make it out there. Todd seemed like one of those people to me. And I thought, why not make a film about 4 songwriters that have, or were kind of refugees from that LA scene, and they came together and started to write some songs, and that's all it was going to be.
Okay.
So we wrote some songs. My brother joined us on drums, and he's a writer too. And we thought, who could we get on guitar? And the person I thought of was Scott, because Scott's so versatile, and he's doing his own solo songwriting. So, I mean, he's got that history. He was the perfect fit for us. And so I approached Scott with that. It's not a band. We're just going to make this documentary.
I see.
Write some songs. And we tried to get a grant for the documentary. We even made a trailer. It's up on our website, a trailer for the film. But we didn't get the grant, and we just decided we really like these songs. We want to play them now. So we're almost a band now.
We're a band.
We're a band now. So, so it kind of turned into that, and we're excited. We made a CD that we're proud of. We've got enough songs written for the next CD. We can't wait to record again. And we're real excited about this. And we're trying to find places that want that want those showcases of original songs. We'll play covers if we have to fill out a night, but we want venues out there that are interested in our 2-hour showcase and stuff.
Awesome.
So if you own a venue out there and you're looking for some new rock and roll, look up blackhillsoul.com.
And yes, blackhillsoul.com. Thank you for mentioning that. Are there any other places online? Do you have a Facebook page?
We do. Facebook.com, blackhillsoul.
Okay.
Instagram.com, Facebook.com, Black Hill Soul.
Okay.
And we have a Twitter account.
You have a Twitter account
So
as
it's
well.
the same thing, Black Hill Soul.
Black Hill
is the
Soul.
name.
Are you on TikTok yet?
We're not on TikTok.
Not on TikTok yet.
No, but hopefully
Never too
someday.
late to start. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on there.
You bet.
We got a YouTube channel, though.
Okay.
You can hear our stuff for free there.
Okay.
We're on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, anywhere the cool kids are shopping for music.
Sure.
You can probably
All
find us out
at
there.
Black Hill Soul.
Yeah, Black Hill Soul. Just search for us in whatever
Perfect.
streaming site you go to. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about the songs. There are stories behind the songs. If you'd heard any of them.
Well, I haven't, and we are running out of time. We're going to have to wrap it up.
Oh, that's fine.
But
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I have heard the songs, but we just don't have time for a story about
sure.
a song.
Yeah.
I wish we did.
Okay.
I told you this was going to take. We were just going to have way too much. To talk.
We probably are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could probably keep talking.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
We could talk for hours. Unfortunately, we'll have to wind it up here.
Okay.
Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC, large, round, and square bales.
Sorry.
I have no clue who's going to tell us to change our strings this week. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Black Hills Podcast, in the corner, taking pictures, is podcaster, all-around producer and artist extraordinaire, and sometimes guitarist. Brandon Tobar says, change your strings, everybody.
Okay.
James Sautter, will you play us out, please? Anything you want to play, buddy.
Yeah, I
On
don't know how
your
this is going to
old
sound,
faithful.
just bass and vocals, but I'll play one of our
Absolutely.
songs on the album here.
All right, perfect.
You walk in a room, my heart goes boom, boom, boom. Don't make me wait, I need you now, right here with me. Your smile lights up the dark, electrifies my heart. You make me wanna be the best that I can be. I'm still searching for the answers that I need. Alone, I just can't seem to find the things I seek. I need your love to set me free. Won't you please come and rescue me? You may not know my name, but to me you're everything. Give me a chance to show you all that I can be. If you just look my way, my heart will never stray. Give me a chance to show you all that I can be. I'm still searching for the answers that I need. Alone, I just can't seem to find the things I seek. I need your love to set me free. Won't you please come and rescue me? Won't you please come and rescue me?
Woo! Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next week. I'm Matthew J. Trask.